Hello everybody, I'm turning the camera on today because tomorrow I will have been 4 years post-stroke. And I haven't done a video since like November. I don't do them like I used to, and there's a reason for that, and I'll explain a little bit. So, I'm doing pretty good. Things are pretty normal for me now. I'm used to this. I've kind of adapted to it. I've adapted well, and I'm happy about that. So I go to work, I work on my house, I work on my car, I have relationships, I do whatever normal people do. I've just learned how to do them different, maybe with a different tool or in a different way. And I do ask for help when I need it, but usually I don't. When this first happened, I can remember maybe the first year or so, people treated me like I was made of glass and they wouldn't let me do anything. And if I was trying to do something, they'd say, you know what, that's too hard to watch, just let me do it. But now it's like the opposite. People have forgotten that this happened to me at all, and they expect me to do things sometimes where I have to remind them, hey, I have these limitations. And they look at me funny, like, the same people look at me like, well, what do you mean? Because I've compensated so well, they just expect me to be able to do things. And, you know, sometimes I have to let them know, hey, this is a little bit much, I don't think I can handle this, or I don't want to deal with this right now. And they sometimes don't understand because, again, I've handled other things so well. The reason I don't do a lot of videos anymore is because when I first did them, I thought, hey, let me reach out to some people. If these videos would have been available when I had my stroke, they would have been real helpful for me. But they weren't, so hey, let me do some stuff that I would have enjoyed. While I was laying in the hospital, I had questions. I am more than my stroke. I don't live in a way where I identify myself as a stroke survivor. I identify myself as a person. This isn't my rebirth day tomorrow. I don't look at it that way. I had a stroke, but I'm not getting any tattoos about stroke survivor. I'm not wearing any t-shirts. I'm just not that kind of guy. I'm doing normal stuff. I'm just doing it different because of my stroke. But anyway, I did the videos. I said what I had to say, and I noticed when I would post these in like stroke survivor forums, at first they did pretty well, and people would ask questions. They would say, hey, how do you do this, or what do you think of that? And it would give me ideas to do more videos. But it seemed to have stopped happening. And what actually started happening was people just started to complain more, and it's a support group. You're allowed to complain in a support group. But it was so negative. I felt like I was making inspiring, uplifting videos that were being ignored. And if you've ever been to like a Facebook group, what happens is the post that gets the most attention ends up at the top, and the post that gets the least attention ends up at the bottom. All my stuff would just go straight to the bottom. I mean, within like a half an hour, it was gone because so many people had something to complain about. So then I have to wonder, am I really doing any good here? I don't need the support. I'm fine. So I don't need to be here to reach out to others. And that's just honesty. I don't need it. I'm cool just doing my own thing. I've always been cool with this. I've never really needed any kind of support from other stroke survivors. I've needed support from my family and friends, but not from other stroke people. And no one's asking me anymore, how do you do this, or how would you do that? So, you know, I didn't really have anything else to contribute, so I kind of stopped doing them. Now, if people have something that they want me to talk about, please ask. You can ask in this video comment section. Although, unfortunately, I have like over 2,000 videos on DJing and other things. It's hard for me to monitor all of this stuff. I will do my best, but you're best off reaching me on Facebook. I am Brian Scott Red on Facebook, or Brian S. Red, my fan page. You can reach me there. So, you know, I was thinking about a few things that to talk about in this video that maybe I haven't maybe covered. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I can't remember. And the one thing I wanted to talk about was something that does annoy me, because not much does. You can't offend me. It's very hard to offend me and say something that's going to upset me. If you talk about, you know, my disability, I don't care. I'll talk to you about my disability. There is one thing that upsets me, though, and it's probably ridiculous, but it does. I recently had to explain my situation to someone who I hadn't seen in probably, I don't know, 15, 16 years. I told them that I'd had a stroke. I told them what happened. I told them how I'm doing. And when I was done, they said, hey, good luck. And I thought to myself, good luck? That's a very strange thing to say. This has nothing to do with luck. The fact that this happened to me at all is bad luck. The fact that I survived it is good luck. But the fact that I'm like leading a normal life and I'm doing things that normal people do, or doing my best to do normal people things and compensate for my shortcomings, is not luck. This is hard work and determination. Nothing to do with luck. So don't tell people good luck. Tell people something else. Anything but that. You know, hey, you know, it was great to see that you're doing well. That's a nice thing to say, but good luck is a real shitty thing to say. Unless I'm on my way to Vegas with several $1,000s in my pocket and I tell you, I'm going to put this all in a slot machine. Then you can tell me good luck. The other thing I wanted to talk about is something that recently popped up and reminded me of something that had happened to me. When I was young, I had a roller skating accident. I think I was 13. And to make a long story short, I screwed up my right wrist very bad. Had 2 operations, had a cast on it for like 3 years, and I lost mobility. Like, it wouldn't go back any further than this. Normally you can do this. Mine only went like this, and side to side, I lost motion too. And because of this, sometimes something pops out of whack. Something dislocates, and it can happen very easily. I can pick something up, I can bang it on something, and it pops. I remember when I was in rehab, it popped, and boy was I in pain. Typically, when this happened to me, I learned that by picking up something heavy with handles on it, could pop it back in place. Wrapping my fingers around it, lifting something, crack. And boy, the relief that I felt. But when it happened to me in rehab, and my rehab was shitty, I've mentioned that in videos before, it was like the worst place to go for rehab. I told them what had happened to me, and they said, oh no, that's something that happens when you don't move around enough and you've had a stroke, you get these pains. We're going to give you some pain pills, we want to give you pills. I said, no, that's not what it is. I've felt this sensation before, I know exactly what it is. But I can't lift anything, I need some help. Can someone pull on my fingers and pop my wrist back into joint? And they wouldn't do it. I asked to go see a doctor to get an x-ray for it, and they were like, well, that's not what it is, it's a waste of time, that's not what we're not going to do that. And I remember getting very upset. I remember hoping someone would come by, a friend of mine, to help me pop this back in place. I eventually worked it out myself because my arm was complete, you know, it was dead, nothing happening. I remember wrapping around a bed rail, you know, and then grabbing my fingers and pulling really hard, and I eventually ended up popping it. But I was in pain for like maybe a day and a half with this until I figured out how to do it. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because no matter what, I mean, you know how you feel better than the doctors or the therapists know. They have no idea. They only can guess. They can only imagine how you may feel, if they're even trying to do that, because this has never happened to them. You got to be your own advocate on this stuff. If something comes up where you're feeling a certain way, you need to be very proactive, and you need to make sure that you just badger the hell out of these people until you get the care that you need, or you get the help that you need, because they don't know. All they've done is read books. All they've done is attend lectures, and all they have done is do this in theory. They don't know it in practical application. We are the ones who know it in the practical application. So we need to be our own advocates. So that's my video, 4 years post-stroke. It might be a little long. Sorry about that. What do we talk about? We'll do videos if you have requests. No problem. Just let me know. Don't tell stroke survivors good luck. That's a shitty thing to say. And be your own advocate. Those are my messages for you, 4 years post-stroke. Otherwise, I'm cool. I'm happy. Everything's going great. I'm getting stronger. Nothing that I can put my finger on to tell you about, but I am getting stronger, and I feel strong, and I feel good. So that's it. We'll see you soon. Take care of yourself.